Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this announcement of Coffee and Convo Live for Sunday morning. I'm your host, Marianne Pat, your spiritual guide. And I have my dear friend with me, Naomi Rafalowicz, and she is our guest for Sunday morning. So, welcome, Naomi. I'm so glad you're here with us.
Oh, I am so glad to be here too. I'm very excited about Sunday morning.
Yeah. Me too. So our Coffee and Convo Live on Sunday is Sunday the 25th. And it, of course, will be right here on Facebook at Marianne Pat Coaching at 10 a.m. Central. But we're going to talk, our topic is going to be living a purposeful life. So, Naomi, could you give us a little idea about what that looks like? How does that shine in our lives? What do we do? How do we live a purposeful life?
Yeah. So that is living a purposeful life, and talking about this and helping people is like totally my passion. And just to give you a little background, I'm going to tell you that for, I would say, most of my adult life, I thought that I was living a purposeful life. I thought that I kind of knew what I was doing, but it was all so vague. And now I feel like I have the tools that help myself figure that out, sort of the key to unlock the essence of who I am. And it gets me so excited. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I mean, like it for so many years, I'm sure that your viewers feel the same. I was always very connected to knowing there was an essence and a spirit inside. And I read books and I went to workshops, and I was always like, I'm going to find out who I really am. Then I can live a purposeful life. And I would up at these things and read and meet and talk and get it back out. I remember standing in a parking lot literally once thinking to myself, I'm smiling and talking to these people, and I don't have a clue anymore about myself, my purpose, than when I went in. But now I do.
And I love that, because that so speaks to us, because you're a retired special education teacher. So
yes, I am.
You had a very, to me, that's a very meaningful work.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you still didn't quite feel like you were living purposeful.
Right. So what I realized is, luckily, I used to say, gosh, I fell into this career by accident and it was such an amazing match. No, it wasn't by accident. There were things that happened along the way. There were people I met when I was getting ready to pick my major. Like, I was tuned into my intuition, but I didn't know that that's what it was, right? It was kind of like, oh, that's curious. Let me follow that. So when you have the awareness, but as a special ed teacher with my students, because I followed this intuition, but you know what? It was sort of it was kind of by accident. I got to live my purpose in my work with my students. But in my 35-year career, was I my best self all the time?
Oh, yeah.
My purpose? There were big periods where I'm going to say, no, I didn't like who I was being. I didn't like how I was acting. So that's where the connection to the purposeful life, because it wasn't out there for me. It wasn't clear for me. I couldn't figure out why I didn't feel right, in who I was. So to me, living a purposeful life, right? It's about being the person I was meant to be, my spirit, my essence. I can get so excited about this, but I believe we're born into this world with that little fingerprint, like that spiritual fingerprint.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's that spark of God, that's our soul, our spirit, our higher power, whatever label you like to use for that eternal, broader perspective. And if we don't marry that, if we don't blend that, that's when we don't feel fulfilled and like our life is meaningful. We do all the chatter and we're this great person in our career, but it feels hollow. Don't you think? It just feels kind of empty when we don't really live for who we are.
It feels I had this sense of something something's not right here.
Right.
It's like the something's not right, but I don't know how to make it any better.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I do. The work that I did for myself. And in my teaching career, you know, one of the things I loved, I realize now, is coaching, you know, coaching the family, coaching the staff that I worked with. Because I really felt like I didn't know what it was, but I could see, you know, I could see the essence, right? Your listeners know this already, you know? And so I knew, like, I'm not here to tell you how to do things. Yes, I was there to tell my students how to do things, because that's my area of expertise. I loved working with my students who had special ed needs, you know, reading, math, social skills, whatever. But when I worked with families, I just knew, like, I'm not here to tell you how to do what needs to be done. I'm here to guide you to figure it out. You have the best answers, right? As a special ed teacher. So I knew way before I retired, well, first of all, I figured out at some point, oh, that's coaching. That's coaching. I am here to facilitate your moments, you know? And once I knew it was a thing, I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do in my last few years of teaching and in my next chapter. But the funny thing is, I forgot my purpose in my last few years of teaching, and it was not my happiest years there. So, right? Yeah, I have to continue to learn how to come back and be connected. And one of the things I'm really excited about is when I speak to somebody who I know, like, has those ideas or thoughts about spirit and essence, I talk about connecting and living a purposeful life in a certain way. But there are so many people that are not thinking about it that way. And what I'm so excited about, especially recently, is something new that I'm doing, is I have a way to bring what I'm talking about on that spiritual level to people at a very pragmatic level. Wants the same thing, but they don't necessarily want it to come from spirit. It's the same thing. We all want it. And I'm like, I can bring that on that sort of pragmatic, practical level. And then you take it wherever you want to go. It's not for me to say it's your spirit or your essence. Like, that was like, oh.
Yeah. But that allows people to really live authentically, because it's their beliefs, where they're coming from. And it doesn't always look the same. There is no cookie cutter box that we all come from. So I want to thank you for coming on here and inviting everyone to our Coffee and Convo Live on Sunday morning. And if you are looking for Naomi, if you want to look at her website, it's here. It is mindspiritcoaching.com. So she also has Facebook and Instagram. And can you tell them your handle there?
Yes. Instagram is Naomi.mindspiritcoach.
There you go. Okay.
And Facebook is pretty similar. Well, actually, you can just look up Mind Spirit Coaching on Facebook.
Very good. All right. So if you want to look up Naomi before our Sunday Coffee and Convo Live, I invite you to do that. And thank you, Naomi, for being our guest today. I greatly appreciate you and your life and your work.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Marianne. I really appreciate being here. I'm excited.
Yep. Everybody, come back on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Central, right here at Marianne Pack Coaching on Facebook. It is also streaming live on my YouTube channel, Marianne Pack. So we love you all. We'll see you Sunday morning.
Bye.
Bye-bye.